Once upon a time, in a peaceful kingdom, surrounded by green hills and shining rivers, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Cinderella. After her mother passed away, her father remarried, hoping to bring happiness back into their home. But sadly, when her father also became ill and left the world, Cinderella was left in the care of her stepmother and two stepsisters. They were not kind. They made Cinderella clean the house from sunrise to sunset. She washed the floors, cooked the meals, and mended old clothes, while her stepsisters admired themselves in mirrors and dreamed of fancy parties. Despite everything, Cinderella never allowed bitterness to grow in her heart. She believed that kindness was stronger than cruelty. Every evening, when her chores were done, she would sit by the window and look at the stars. One day, she whispered softly, "My life will change." One bright morning, a royal messenger arrived with exciting news. The king had announced a grand ball at the palace. The prince wished to meet someone who possessed a kind and sincere heart. Everyone in the kingdom was invited. Cinderella's stepsisters were thrilled. They ordered new dresses and sparkly shoes. For days, Cinderella worked tirelessly to prepare everything for them. "Of course, you are not coming," her stepmother said firmly. "You belong here." Cinderella nodded quietly, though her heart felt heavy. When the carriage finally left for the palace, Cinderella sat alone in the garden, tears shining in her eyes. Suddenly, a gentle voice spoke behind her. "Why are you crying, my dear?" An old woman with warm eyes stood nearby. She carried a small silver wand. "I wished to go to the ball," Cinderella admitted softly, "but I have no dress, no carriage, and no invitation." The woman smiled. "Kindness is your invitation." With a wave of her wand, something magical happened. A pumpkin turned into a golden carriage. Mice became elegant horses. Cinderella's simple dress shimmered and transformed into a beautiful gown that sparkled like moonlight. But the woman gave one important warning. "The magic will end at midnight." Cinderella promised to return before the final chime. The palace was filled with music and laughter. When Cinderella entered, the room grew quiet. The prince noticed her immediately, not because of her dress, but because of the gentle way she smiled at everyone she passed. They danced and talked for hours. Cinderella spoke about simple joys, morning sunlight, blooming flowers, and helping others. The prince listened carefully. He had never met someone so sincere. Time flew like a whisper in the wind. Then the clock began to chime. Midnight. Cinderella gasped and hurried away, accidentally leaving behind one delicate glass slipper on the palace stairs. The next day, the prince made a promise. He would search the entire kingdom for the person whose foot fit the glass slipper. Many tried. Some forced their feet inside. Others pretended, but the slipper did not belong to them. Finally, the prince arrived at Cinderella's house. Her stepsisters tried first, but the slipper would not fit. Then Cinderella stepped forward. Her stepmother tried to stop her, but the prince insisted. Gently, Cinderella placed her foot into the slipper. It fit perfectly. At that moment, everyone realized that true beauty had nothing to do with fancy dresses or grand entrances. It lived in a kind heart. Cinderella forgave her, choosing peace instead of anger. Soon after, She married the prince. But more importantly, she continued being the same thoughtful, caring person she had always been. And the kingdom learned something valuable. Kindness may be quiet, but it always shines the brightest. And the story is finished. Good night. Sleep well. Sweet dreams.